lost their male partners to red pill content. Front and center, please.
But it was a fairly weird situation because I was just like watching this guy with whom I grew up, change into this like racist year by year, but really in such a short amount of time when I moved in with him in Volunteer. And I stayed there for about 4 months. Within the first couple of days, I got a job, and I kept that job the whole 4 months that I was living there. He went through 4 jobs at least in that same amount of time. Every 2 weeks, it would seem he would be waking up late for a job that he would have to travel like an hour plus to get to, and then he would like lose the job because he was constantly waking up late and getting there late. And then he would blame me, and then everybody around would blame me because I was a woman and I was supposed to like make certain that this dude was able to go out and be who he was, and or be who he needed to be and things like that. I was supposed to support my man, who wasn't really my man and was lusting after this white girl down there who was a drug head. But she was just so beautiful. And she was beautiful. But like, he's lusting after her and, trying to call me a druggie because I smoked weed. And, his stepdad actually got me into some crazy shit down there too, but I ain't even gonna get into that. But he kept pushing his stepdad or me onto his stepdad. So he saw that his stepdad wanted me. As soon as I got down there, his stepdad kept offering me drugs and offering me all kinds of stuff, because he wanted me. Even though his mom was with this dude, his disabled mom who was, Aryan Nation, So, it was just the wildest situation. And, it was not a good situation for me. It was not safe. And, I ended up, many times being in very compromising situations. Like there was this white girl down there. There were a lot of white women down there who wanted him and didn't like that he was with me because they saw me as I'm telling you guys, like, I played the part. Like everybody thought I was just like some down, chill ass, really good singing black chick, cisgender woman, and I knew I had to keep that clink clink, and the more I was succeeding, I was getting financed a car through his stepdad, red Chevy Cavalier, that was broke down and shit. I was then I had moved into a trailer that I was renting from his stepdad, and I was about to start paying him on that the next week. So he let me move in early. So there's just a lot of stuff that was happening for me, and he was jealous. He was mad because he was still living in his stepdad's penthouse apartment and studio apartment that we were both living in, and he was like trying to force me to clean and all this other stuff, and I just wasn't cleaning it well enough. Every time I was there, I wasn't cleaning it well enough. You could tell it was him trying to get back at me for being mad about him not doing a similar thing in my house, even though he did not have a fucking job and was not contributing. So that's why it made no sense for me to come back home and my house is looking ridiculous. And it's like, okay, I may be the main reason why this house looks ridiculous, which is why I say it wasn't just him, it was me too. Because in this moment, even though you're sitting in my house not doing shit, I still don't expect you to clean up my shit. But with him, it made no sense. Like none of it made sense. It's like, okay, so I'm working, I'm the only person bringing into this house, I'm providing for you, you know what I'm saying? And then you mad at me. And you're telling me I needed this and I needed that. He was calling me bitches and just going off on me and calling me all these ugly ass things and shit. And I was just like, what is wrong with this dude? Like, why is he acting like this all of a sudden? Like, why? We went down here and it's like he just became the most evil version of himself. And I think it was just because he was realizing that he was not worth shit. And he wasn't doing anything with his life. And I was. And it didn't matter. It wasn't just me living off of some program or being a former foster kid or, being in an independent living program that was helping me to succeed. Even when I was down there with him, I was already moving into my own place. I was already getting my own car. And I was a black transgender woman in a place where none of those things were being, not any of those things is a problem. Alone. I was working at the gas station on Highway, is it Highway V? I think it was Highway V. I keep wanting to say Highway K, but I'm pretty sure it's Highway V. And it's called BMW Convenience. I almost got kidnapped there by two middle-aged white dudes, hillbilly-looking white dudes. They were twins. And it's just a lot. And what do you call it? I think one of the things that pushed him as well is the fact that I mean, there were nights where he was like, you know, demanding that I would, you know, make him dinner. There's one night in particular that he demanded that I finish cooking the chicken that I put in the oven that I did not know was expired the way it was when I put it in there. But after he started arguing with me and I felt the chicken again, and I was like, you know what, I'm leaving. I left the chicken in the oven. I didn't give a fuck about it. And he was like, you gonna finish cooking that chicken? And I was like, bitch, who gonna make me? So I left and I went to my trailer, and he puts all of the chicken, again, this is raw, expired chicken, scrapes it all into a trash bag, a white trash bag, and ties it up and brings it over to my trailer. He throws it in his car, drives literally like 100 feet up the street to the very next, you know, residence, which is my trailer, because my trailer was like the last one closest to the house. And what do you call it? He all I hear is him pull up, get out, and slam his door like a movie or something. And then he gets this trash bag full of raw expired chicken legs, and he starts banging on my door with it. So he's literally vandalizing my trailer. The door's like about to give in. It's about to fall in. And you know, he's doing this with this a bag of fucking chicken. It's ridiculous. It was so fucking ghetto, so country. And so he ends up, and I'm like yelling, don't you dare come in here. Don't you come in here. It was horrible. It was really scary because I knew if he wanted to fucking, you know, beat my ass, he could definitely do that. Like I wasn't gonna go down without a fight, but this was one of the things I was attracted to, you know, to about him or in him is was his physique. You know, he's this Native American, white and Mongolian apparently dude or whatever, who looked like he was Latino, like white Latino almost. And what do you call it? He was, you know, very big. Like his neck was big, his head was big, his hair was flat. Mama clearly didn't fucking rub the baby head when he was a baby, left him flat on his back. But you know, so he did kind of look like a Neanderthal. But you know, he had big hands, big feet, all that shit. So, you know, he would have, bitch, I would have been in a fight for my life. So, you know, I was like, don't you open his door? It was horrible. He eventually stopped and he ran off. And later on that same night, I tried to see if the car still had my financing paperwork in it, and I could not find it. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of here. And my voice ended up cracking for the first time while I was down there when one of the neighbors who I was initially cool with, but you know, they'll flip on you like that when they find out that you're trans or when you become the bad black person or whatever. And she said, oh, my husband was about to get his gun because he thought somebody was over there trying to break in or something. And I was like, no, this, that, and the third, and it's just me, and this, that, and the third. And I said some other stuff, but it was like my voice was not on it. And like it sounded real deep and all this other shit. And the dude, you know, who I was with, he yells faggot or something like that before he left as well. You know, so I don't recall. I think the voice dropping thing happened right before he came. I don't remember. I think it was right after. And yeah. I don't know, but I just remember him calling me a faggot. And this is the first time he ever did that. And I remember it thinking that it was tied into the whole voice situation and how he was probably upset that I exposed him at that point when we were in that argument, when I was fearing for my safety. So I was like, I think that's a big driving force for why he's deeper in it now. the red pill.